Hey, welcome everyone. I am so excited to introduce you guys to Mike. Mike and I go a little bit way back. And he before this chapter in Mike's life, he was working as in construction and putting in really long days and weeks and in some really pretty extreme weather, you guys. When you hear about the conditions, it's incredible. Also, that did not leave much time for him to do anything outside of work. And at some point, something shifted for Mike, and he started looking at this, at his time, and he looked at his income and what was actually possible for him in the long run. So before we unpack all of that, Mike, welcome to the call. And I'm
Yeah.
curious, what did your life really look like before, like back then? And what at this moment, what was the moment really that made you realize that you wanted something different?
Yeah, so my life back then was pretty much work. And I got to the point where I was working 6 days a week, usually 10 to 12 hours a day, sometimes up to 16 in all manners of weather. So we we had times working up north in negative 40 degrees, and I'm sure you can imagine how hard that is to work in that. It hurts to breathe. And
I can't imagine actually.
I grew up an athlete. Like I've always loved playing sports. Played baseball my whole entire life. I was into dodgeball, golf, even tried out soccer and football, and I loved it. That was really what I was doing a lot of before. But when I transitioned into construction, all that changed because I didn't have the time anymore. It's good money, but it's such a full-time thing.
Mm,
And when I was at my most recent construction job, there was times where it would be pouring rain for weeks at a time and you'd be working 16 hours through the night, and it was pretty hard. Like it really dampens your spirits. And so there was a point where it felt like I was going through the motions, just that constant repetition every day. I had quit playing all my sports. I wasn't seeing my family very often because I only had one day off a week. And I was so tired after working 60 plus hours every week. And
mm,
so that's when I really started to think, like, what else is there out there?
mm.
And then I had this opportunity fall into my lap. So,
Nice. Yeah, I mean, we were talking earlier about the kinds of conditions that you are working under, and I just can't even imagine what it feels like to be that cold. Like literally this morning, I'm outside coaching and it's 43 degrees, and I just about lost my mind. I was like, this is freaking miserable. And that
yep.
was 43 degrees.
Yeah,
So I can't imagine being out there in the pouring rain and below zero and doing construction for hours and hours, days on end. I mean, that really has to put some kind of mindset into you that there has to be a better way. There has to be a
sure.
different way. There has to be a better way. And what a way to put fire, no pun intended, out being out in the cold, in your belly to really find a solution that can really pull you out of that reality, because that has to be some serious pain. So
Sure.
congratulations to you. I'm so glad you're no longer in that
Thank you.
world.
Me
But
too.
tell us, how did you first come across the high ticket sales franchising business? What was the first thing that caught your attention?
So my cousin actually, he's been involved in this company for a few years, but I didn't really know anything about it. And the thing that caught my attention most actually happened last year during tax season. And
Mm,
so my cousin had sold a rental property that he had owned for years,
mhm,
and he found out in 2024 that from 2024, he ended up owing $24,000 to the government for his taxes. And he had owned the business and he had been doing the business, but he hadn't been taking advantage of the tax write-offs. And so Gord, who's now a great friend and business partner, he
mhm,
actually told my cousin Steven, he said, "Hey, we have an accountant. Why don't you connect with them and see what they can do in regards to write-offs and what it could mean for your taxes?" And my cousin went from owing 24,000 to getting a $1,500 return. And so I was mind blown. I'd never seen anything like that. And I've never thought of write-offs for myself. Like I knew about it in business and this and that. And so when I moved to Vancouver, he ended up introducing me to Gord in 2024.
hang on, I just want to make it absolutely clear for anyone who's
Yeah, yeah.
watching this that Gord getting this tax refund was because of this online business that he has that you and I are both
Yes.
also involved in.
Yes, and so that was a big thing because of all the
Yeah.
write-offs you're able to do when you're a business owner and the style of business that it is. That's what happens. So when you have a normal income and then you have a side business that you're able to do write-offs with, it makes a tremendous difference at tax time.
Mhm. This
So
also helps if you are not necessarily employed by someone, but also for business owners.
for
So if
sure.
you have your own business, or if you're a service provider, service entrepreneur or
Yeah,
massage therapist or whatever, this also applies. So
for
I
sure.
just want to make that perfectly clear because a lot of people are like, wait, what? What is this tax thing?
Yeah,
This is a huge subject. And I would, if you would be so kind to do another segment together where we dive into this even deeper because I know this is a
for
huge
sure.
subject for you and you're really been helping a lot of people
It
through.
is.
So
Yeah, that's where like I'm not the tax professional,
yeah.
but I have access to the tax professionals who specialize in this type of business. And
Mhm.
so what I always recommend to anybody who's thinking about doing it is to actually talk to the accountants first and
Mhm.
find out what it would mean to them because after they talk to the accountant, it's going to really open their eyes. So,
Yeah, yeah, I love that.
yeah,
Yeah, so that was a huge turn on for you. You were like,
for sure.
wait a
Yeah.
minute, how did you get, wait, you owed 24,000 and now you're getting 1,500 back? Like,
Yeah.
tell me more about that. Like
Yeah.
how, so then you started. You
Yeah. So
you decided, yeah, get in
when
on
I
it.
when I actually got shown the opportunity, my cousin introduced me to Gord, who's now my mentor and business partner.
Uh-huh.
And so when they showed me the presentation and in that they were talking about the tax benefits and this, I had already seen it. So I knew that part of it worked. So in
Hmm.
my mind, this was a chance to essentially start a free business in the long run. And it changed my life. And in regards to my own taxes, my biggest tax return ever from being a construction worker was around $4,000 that I got back.
Hmm.
This year, because I had the business last year, I was actually able to get over $20,000 back in my tax return.
Wow.
So it made like blew my mind.
In
I
one
knew it
year.
was possible, but even when my tax return hit, it was even way more than I expected. I knew it was going to change, but I didn't expect it to be that much. So
Yeah, that's really incredible. I mean,
yeah,
and talk about a change of life. That's like,
sure,
that
yeah,
is life-changing income, life-changing circumstances right there to be able to get that in just your taxes is
yeah.
incredible. So congratulations to that.
Thank you.
Speaking about the change, how, I mean, other than it changing your job situation and you're not having to freeze your buns off anymore
Yeah.
and other things, and it also giving you a huge tax benefit. What are some of the other changes that you've recognized in yourself or in your life?
Yeah. So I was able to quit my job, which was amazing. That was actually happened almost a year ago in February. And so that was huge for me. But then aside from that, aside from the income I've been able to create and everything like that, I've actually had a lot of personal growth this year. So realizing like that's what this is. This business not only gets you to learn skills to do the business, but it starts to make you really look at what's inside and what am I doing with my life that what do I want to be proud of?
Mm.
And so I've really made a lot of changes this year in general, to my health, to all sorts of stuff, mental, physical, spiritual, all of that. And it allows me the opportunity now to be able to take what I've learned and to go out and to help other people grow a business, to help other people make healthier lifestyle choices and all that kind of stuff. And that's what I want to do now is inspire people and create people who are more financially abundant, more stable, and generally healthier. The world needs a lot more of that. So
Yeah, Mike, solid stuff, man. And I see you out there. I see you doing your thing. I see the lives that you're changing. I see the team that you're growing. I see all of it. And it's just such, it's so great for me. I'm a lot older than you, and it's really nice to see the younger people really kind of evolving into more maturity and just sort of really being settled with who they are and who they're becoming. It's just really a beautiful thing. And so, I'm cheering you on. I think this is
thank
really, really fantastic. You've changed your job
you. Yeah.
circumstances, right? You've leveled up your taxes. Amazing, right? Mindset has been incredible. Your health is
Yeah.
I mean, you're looking fitter than ever. I remember when you first started this and you're doing so, so good. And I just love that, you're really coming into this whole beautiful picture of Mike in the future, and it's just really, really pleasant to watch this growth happen for you. I'm so
I
happy.
appreciate that, pal. Thank you.
Yeah. So if anyone is watching this and you're at any way inspired or like aha moments and things that are like really triggering you, if you want to hear more about what Mike has to share as far as taxes and how he's using this to leverage his business, drop it in the comments. We'll be happy to reach out. And Mike, finally, just to wrap it up, if there's someone out there that's watching and listening and resonating with your story, say they have a very miserable job situation that they're going on right now, it doesn't have to be weather-wise,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
that they're sort of miserable in their situation and their mindset is keeping them in that broke state. What do you want to say to them if they're curious, if they're watching you right now and they're saying, "Oh, I'm a little bit, I want to hear a little bit more," but they have a little ting in them that's skeptical, which is totally normal,
Of course.
right? So what do you want to say to that viewer?
I totally get it. I've been there. I've been the skeptical person, and I'm so glad that I was able to get past that. And so I would just recommend to reach out and to have a conversation with me. I never push, I only educate, and I just want to show people that there's another way and how I do it. And so I would really recommend to reach out, to have a conversation, just a human connection, and yeah, see where it goes. You never know. Something
You
could
never
change your life,
know.
like it could change mine. I had one meeting that changed the course of my life, and I never thought that was possible. So
Yeah, and when you don't know what you don't know, you can't make an educated
for
decision.
sure.
Yeah,
Exactly.
right.
So
Well, Mike, thank you so much. It's such a pleasure to have you on the New Rich Conversations. And again, if anyone is interested in more information, go ahead and drop it in the comments, and one of us will reach out to you. All right. Have a
yeah.
wonderful rest of your day. Thank you so much.